Greetings on this new moon on September 9th, 2018. Happy new moon in Virgo. I wanted to share with you the following oracle. Behold, I looked and I saw that the holy mysteries and ancient codes that had been sewn and woven into the DNA were there within us still. I looked and I was shown how various tribes of humans had been given a part of the mystery of Creator, each a different facet, jewel, or treasure. None was given the whole. For a time it was given to the humans to see how the creatures endowed with a divine body would discover and assimilate back into one body. And Set, also known as Satan, or this energy that's simply known as the dividing one, the one who chops apart into pieces in order to know something, that energy that penetrates. It can be fun sometimes. Set was granted permission to divide and press the creatures to grow, to make them conscious of their suffering apart from the whole. That we might, as a human species, be given the opportunity to consciously choose the whole. Set was granted permission to squeeze like the serpent. It's like the womb squeezes the baby to birth into new life. Conscious suffering unites the body to grow whole. When pain is witnessed, it can be catalyzed for joy, rather than for feeding still the pain body. These grids exist through the human population like a web of source energies that connects frequencies or light to other frequencies or light or sound even. Humanity is being asked at this time to become conscious of the pain body, witness it with compassion, that it might shed it to release it. We are being asked to shed our collective fear, our shared dislike of the human condition, as it is probably very likely that many of us are the fallen angels who were beautiful and did not want to descend into the human form to suffer as a creature that some of the angels saw as beastly and animal-like. And so those of us who are here may be descendants of that rebellion, come to make things right and to fulfill our role. My cat just jumped up here. Okay. What was I talking about? Fallen angels or something? Okay. Very funny. Anyways. For joy is the fruit of pain suffered consciously. Glory is the fruit of suffering for love. Pride is the fruit of embodying your divinity as we walk in humility. The only self-sacrifice that is noble is that of the false self and that of illusions. That of attachments which lead to suffering. That grasping for something outside of yourself when the teacher has always been within. Whatever it is that blinds us to the good that lives within us, to the love that we truly are, that is what we need to shed. The good and the love that we are, that has the power, it has always had the power to overcome the world. And it has always been a human choice whether or not we wanted to embody that power or to rebel from the love and the light. Basically, to not descend into human form, to not incarnate into human form. And the Creator asked that we descend all the way into human form, that we become love, and that we love every part, every facet of humanity, in order that the Creator could reveal even more glory at the end of the age when all of creation was redeemed. This has always been a choice. We must be brave to face the truth about ourselves. That even as we behold the darkness which has been running the show behind the scenes, which was preordained to run the show behind the scenes, as beings agreed to play light and dark, black and white, in order to polarize, in order to stabilize the opposites that both exist in the human condition and in the condition of energy as it runs throughout the universe. The true nature is being revealed and exposed in order that we might have compassion on our own indiscretions and our own inabilities to still see clearly the distinction between good and evil, because we're still growing conscious and still projecting our own shadows upon one another. And in humility, to simply ask for forgiveness and to help us on our own particular unique path of growth, Creator offers us all spiritual protection as we continue to grow. 4, each of us unlocks a lesson in the ultimate truth. More and more balance and wisdom is being woven back into the fabric of the human collective conscious and unconscious mind, which all of us can access. So as we each heal ourselves, we heal the hologram, we help propel the healing to continue to snowball. The crown chakra of humanity is being regridded and upgraded. For the first time in human history, our light bodies are finding activation. So be gentle with yourselves at this time of shedding and releasing all of the collective pain, conscious and unconscious, of the trauma grids, as new grids are being created now. And here is some Medusa medicine. We hereby activate the healing of the violence rooted in the wounded inner children of men, of the masculine, those who have been hungry for the good mother and have instead been frightened by Medusa's face of trauma. This has been the truth that we all must face and heal. We are honoring those men who have been fighting their fears of being devoured by the mad goddess, and those who have been. Some penises may have been put on trees. I cannot say for certain if I was a part of that. When, in fact, at this present time, it is the Father's shadow that we collectively must face. That's why Darth Vader is really important in our psyche. The healing of the fathers who have devoured our sons and daughters is being released to humanity at this time. For the goddess, when she is balanced with her mate, she is equal of the masculine, equal of God, and she had fallen. She was taken and captured when Sophia fell from heaven into the depths of human madness, and at the appointed time she would be raised in her heart and be established for all of the children of creation, and for all of their suffering she would be the one to have compassion upon it. And on that appointed day, the tears of humanity would turn to joy, and the dead would rise, and the shame of all of the human history that had cloaked them in an age of darkness would be ceased. We hereby pronounce as the Medusa's permission to move forward into this day of reckoning and reconciliation. The healing that is happening here is of the heart that was itself eclipsed by the violence of the fathers as it was separated from the awareness of Goddess. The Great Mother has already had her time of establishing her truth upon the earth, and this was the age of the Great Father, who was to establish a triune of divinity, activating love within all of the depths and facets of the masculine. And now it is time for the collective learning that has happened throughout the age of the divine feminine and the goddess and the masculine to come into right balance, for that shape of the intersecting triangles, the Merkabas, to be for us carriers of wisdom. The wisdom accumulated by the divine masculine and the wisdom accumulated by the divine feminine, and for that information to be released to humanity for their healing at this time. The last thing I wanted to say, as this is getting long and as I'm getting into more open states, was sharing some of the particular cycles of the moon and astrology at this time on this very important date. And this is from my most favorite amazing astrologer, Lolita. She has a page called Lolita Astrology, and I'm sorry if I'm overwhelming you with clients by recommending you to everybody, because you're amazing. Okay, today, Mars in exaltation, trine Juno. I'm really new at all this interpreting, so Mars in exaltation I understand as the energy of the divine masculine that's passionate, like Aries, and exaltation, and then trining, a triangle is one of the most sacred shapes, indestructible, so it's a lot of energy building. It's in Juno, and Juno is the marriage bed, so that sounds like some passion to me. Saturn, domicile lord, grand trine, that sounds like a big triangle, with Athena and Uranus. So think about reconciling the energies of Saturn, Athena, and Uranus. Again, it's like this great masculine energy of Saturn facing Athena. She's like the warrior goddess, the ruler of the Amazons. She is the great mother who always has been, is, and shall be. So some healing of some very old karma. Chariklo shapeshifts in descent from mermaid to ancient shell form. I feel some extra shells on me for sure. I don't know what that's all about. Mars and Saturn ask us to meet primal man. I think I have one of those. Chiron retrograde. Chiron is the wounded healer from the personal wound in Aries. Aries, that warrior. Go. Think later. Go first, you know? I've done that a few times. Healing that personal wound. The personal wound even in that growth. Really allowing primal man to be exalted in Mars. And where is the goddess to meet all that passion and not to shame it? So healing some sexual wounds in the masculine for sure. Okay. Healing also some collective wounding in Pisces, which has to do with that spiritual energy. And then there's a feminine earth trine with Pele. So this erupting volcano of goddess rage anchoring the deep, volatile feminine. And I know in my yoga class today, many of us were just saying we've just been filled with so much fire lately, and we're a bunch of shield maiden Vikings up here, so we have a lot of fire anyways. And it's directing that fire and passion to right purpose rather than losing it with somebody about something stupid. Like, it's time for humanity to come back into the honor of their anger and to direct their anger in right focus, that we might shed the illusions and shed whatever is chaining us in this particular part of the matrix, that we might have our true freedom. So if we could laser point that together with clear seeing and clear compassion, that would be amazing. Ascension is the descent inward. Ascension is the descent inward. That sounds like incarnation. So all of us who are resisting our full incarnation to come fully into the body, to love all parts of self, and because the universe is holographic, that we might also love all parts of humanity. So may it be so, this or better, for the greatest good of all beings. May all beings be happy and free. May we remember that we are one. We are one body. The light in me salutes the light in you. Namaste. Namaste.